Hi there, Throb Ross here again. Welcome back to the Joy of Panting. On this episode, we want to talk about your R.O.M, or your range of motion, and why it's important when lifting. Now, we've all heard these terms thrown around, like you have to get your full range of motion or working within the range of motion. But why is a full range of motion important? Well, studies have shown that the greatest stimulus for muscular growth is pulling from a fully stretched position. We don't just want to get good at half reps. We want the musculature to be able to experience the full breadth of the repetition. As you can see, I've already pre-treated my whiteboard yet again with some true black. While this diagram might look like this arm is experiencing a full range of motion, it's actually not. Now, the arm is fully extended in an upright position, but the tendons are not experiencing the stretch, and therefore the musculature is also not experiencing that full stretch. You might also notice that this diagram of me, with its perfect perky nipples and ripped core, is able to use a 25-pound weight to get a full flexion at the top of the rep range. Whereas this diagram right next to me is only using a 15-pound weight because the angle is pulled back, getting the full stretch through the upper and lower biceps tendons. So the range of motion isn't only important for the full extension of the arm, it's also important for the full stretch of that muscle. It's often for this same reason that when I have my personal training clients do a standing biceps curl, for instance, with a barbell, I encourage them to not only let their arms go all the way down, but also to force their knuckles toward the ground, almost like they're getting a little tricep extension there as well, before they then curl that barbell back up. They can feel a much tighter connection with the biceps muscle when doing so. Now, if you'll notice, in diagram 2, this perfectly drawn example of my own physique, I'm leaning slightly back, maybe on an inclined bench, so that I can more naturally experience that stretch with my arm behind me. Here, I'm going to experience a deep stretch in the muscle tissue before curling up. Another thing I like to do here is, instead of the first diagram, where when you curl, my radius and ulna stack, meaning that in this position, I could hold that load for several seconds without experiencing any real tension on the biceps unless I'm intentionally flexing. Here, the second diagram, if you allow that elbow to drift back while you curl, you will experience a full flexion of the biceps because, if you'll notice, now I'm having to use my biceps to hold that dumbbell here instead of the bone stacking here. And that, my friends, is the stark difference between diagram 1 and diagram 2. So let's make sure we always strive for that full range of motion because, friends, as you can see in diagram 2, the angle of the dangle is in fact directly kinesiologically proportional to the heat of the meat. Now, this isn't just applicable to some biceps work. You can do this across the entire breadth of your workout routine, whether it's chest, shoulders, back, arms, core, or legs. It's your job to be mindful about the lift and always try to achieve the deepest stretch you can safely before going back up and contracting the muscle at the very peak of the move. Thanks again for watching. I'm Throb Ross. Stay on the path.